All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. We've got a lot of information to go over today, and it will take us probably 50 or so minutes. We want to make sure that we get everything covered in the time that we are allotted. Today, we are here to talk about Social Security and how to make the best decision for you. Most people don't realize how important this decision is, how much it matters, and there is a lot to it. Social Security is not a simple system. It's actually very complex, and the cost of making the wrong decision can be quite large for you. So, good for you that you're here today to learn a little bit more. You're not going to come away knowing exactly what you need to do, but at least you'll have some information so that you can start reviewing everything that is available to you and helping to make an informed decision. Today, I'm hoping to break down all of the key steps that we believe can be helpful in claiming Social Security in the best manner for your situation. Now, I will be taking questions. Feel free to type the questions into the question box whenever you think of them. If I can incorporate the question into the current spot in the presentation, I will. Otherwise, I will do my best to answer questions at the very end of the presentation. Keep in mind today is informational only and that each of your personal situations for Social Security will differ. So that's why it's really a good idea to schedule a one-on-one appointment with a financial professional to go through your details and understand what the different claiming strategies could do to your retirement strategy. My name is Christine Haley. I am a registered representative here at Voya Financial Advisors, and I have my CRPC designation. That is a Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor designation. I have been in the industry about 14 years. I also have my National Social Security Advisor registration, meaning I have taken some extra classes to learn a little bit more about Social Security and become more familiar with the different claiming strategies. So hopefully I'll be able to give you some good information. Now, this is informational only. I am not trying to give you exact advice because everybody's situation is different. So if you do need, exact advice, I definitely recommend that you reach out to a financial professional or if it's legal or tax advice, get that from a professional as well. Our agenda for today will be making sure that we understand Social Security just in general as an overview. We'll talk about the statements that you will be able to access on the Social Security website, how to read them. We're going to review the different time periods for when you can claim your benefits, and then we'll talk about some case studies to kind of make that information a little bit more relative. And last, I want to leave you with some key takeaways and some resources. When it comes to Social Security, it pays to get this decision right from the beginning. And there are several stage strategies to consider. Choosing the wrong one could potentially cost you money, but I don't want to freak you out. Just know that there are choices, and the different choices that you make impact them how much money you get per month. So here are some myths versus some facts around Social Security. So myth number one is that claiming early is often the best option. But the reality is that, yes, you are eligible for Social Security benefits starting at age 62. But if you start claiming at 62, you are going to receive less than what is considered your full retirement benefit. To get your full retirement benefit, you have to wait until what is called your full retirement age. Now, that depends on your birth year. And for those of us born in 1960 or later, our full retirement age is 67. It is not 65 like we used to think in the past. It has been steadily creeping farther and farther up. If you start taking benefits at the age of 62 versus your full retirement age, your benefit will be reduced by 25 to 30% per month. And that is a lifetime reduction. There are also break-even ages that you can review to try to help make an informed decision, but your break-even age is not accurate, and you need to think about the possibility of longevity in your life. We've also heard that claiming now will give you a cost of living adjustment. Well, just know that cost of living adjustments happen throughout the lifetime of receiving Social Security benefits. They're always implementing these. So it's not something that you need to worry about and use that as a factor for when to claim your benefits. And sadly, Social Security benefits will be taxed. How much they'll be taxed does depend on your total income. All right. So Social Security was put into place as a result of the Great Depression. Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into effect on August 14th of 1935. Taxes were first collected in January of 1937, and the first one-time lump sum payment was made that same month to Ernest Ackerman. He got a grand total of 17 whole cents. Currently, Social Security pays benefits to 60 million people. They are retired workers, disabled workers, widows, widowers, dependents, and those special needs of children of deceased workers. Social Security does have an important role to play in your retirement plan, and that is really to provide you with a base level of income that is guaranteed. You can think of that as a safety net. And while it is a guaranteed source of income backed by the government, just know that it has never been meant to fund your entire income needs in retirement. It is actually only a replacement for some of your current income, and it may not replace as much as you think. So, based on certain assumptions, you can see here that Social Security is going to cover, for the average person, it's covering about 30% of your income. Now, if you are a low wage earner, then Social Security may cover more. Just because what you feel that you need in retirement to support your existing lifestyle may be less than somebody who is a high wage earner. They're going to have a different lifestyle that they're going to expect. But typically, you're going to get about 30% of your income needs covered by Social Security. So that means that the rest of it has to come from you. It's going to be generated from your retirement savings. So anything you've built up into your 401k, IRAs, anything like that. And with the financial strain on the Social Security system, it seems that we are hearing numerous times a day about the viability of the fund itself and whether or not people will even be getting a check. The Social Security Administration is very open about funding via the Social Security Trust funds. This slide is trying to summarize that if nothing changes about how the program is administered or how funds are funneled into the program, that benefits would be reduced by to about 83% of the expected amount by the year 2035. Hopefully, things will change between now and then, laws, tax rates, retirement ages, etc., so that this is not a reality. But even if it is, know that it's still anticipated you will get something from Social Security. It just may not be what you're currently registering, showing as getting your retirement benefits. But this is something to consider, especially for those younger people, that you may want to look at how does retirement look like without any Social Security benefits? How would that affect your retirement? It is something to consider as well for even those people closer to the age of retirement. So why is Social Security so complex? Well, it's for all of these reasons shown on the screen, as well as all of the decisions that we have to make. While the government may not necessarily agree with this statement, do remember that this is your money. You have paid into the system over your entire working career, and you paid even more when you were earning higher wages. So it's getting close to the time for you to start hopefully getting your benefit out. There are a lot of factors that determine what that benefit amount will be. These include how much you have paid into the system over the years, how many years you paid in, and the age at which you start to claim your benefits. Those are the most common factors. When to claim and who to claim benefits for mean that it's not just about you. Your benefit can also affect a number of loved ones during your lifetime and even after you're gone. So, do you know how many rules actually govern Social Security program? Well, actually, there are over 2,700 rules. So that's why it's not simple to understand. And it's very challenging sometimes to keep it straight. Even employees at the Social Security office get it wrong sometimes. So it does pay to have an expert on your side when it comes to making sure you get it right. And this is a huge government program. It serves over 60 million people. It started as a response to poverty during the Great Depression, and it continues to expand today to help more and more people. The rules keep changing, and sadly, that's kind of how government run programs like this have to do to adapt to changing times. So you also need to understand some acronyms. Social Security is no exception to any other industry. We all have our acronyms. So the biggest ones that you really need to know are primary insurance amount and full retirement age. Those are probably the two that you will be seeing the most. You may also need to know about the COLA, which is the cost of living adjustment. Now, most of you do not need to worry about the AMI because that's just how your benefit amount is calculated. But if you're not actively involved in calculating your benefit, if you're letting the website do it for you, then don't even worry about that. So just make sure you understand what full retirement age or FRA is and what primary insurance amount or PIA is. Now, when it comes to calculating your benefit amount, there are math that's involved. There's a complex formula. Um, but you don't have to actually do all of that calculations. Just know that you have to have earned 10 credits to be eligible to receive benefits. You get 1 credit for every quarter that you earned at least a minimum of $1,500. And so once you've got 40 credits, know that you are fully enrolled in the program. However, your benefit amount that is calculated for you is based on your top 35 years of work history. So if you work 30 years, they're going to take 5 years of zeros. So it's definitely important to consider how many years you contributed into the system and know that if you work 40 years and contributed 40 years into the system, they're going to take, again, the top 35 years. So maybe those 5 years that you had the lowest earnings are going to get thrown out when they do the calculation to figure out what your benefited amount will be. And this also affects not only you when you're healthy and retired, but you if you become disabled and need to collect benefits early. It's going to affect you if you become widowed. It could affect what your spouse earns as a spousal benefit or even as a widower's benefit. It could affect your minor children because minor children of a person who is paid into the program who then pass away, those children are eligible to receive benefits as well. There's even such a thing as ex-spouse benefits. So let's talk about your earnings a little bit more. Here's what they're doing. I alluded to a little bit earlier. So the Social Security Department is looking at the earnings that you have made over your lifetime. They do adjust those wages for the current index of, uh, adjusted gross income. So if 35 years ago, maybe you made $15,000. Well, that in today's dollar amount actually is more equivalent to say $40,000. So they're not putting in the 15,000 that you actually effectively earned. They are using a gross adjusted amount for inflation. So it's called the average indexed monthly earning. But basically, the longer you work, the higher your income becomes, and that means that increases your monthly benefit potential. The next factor is when you actually start to claim your benefits, the Social Security retirement age. So let's start in the middle. Social Security looks at the year you were born to determine your full retirement age. That's the age you will receive 100% of the benefit that they calculate for you. So those of us born in 1916 later, age 67 is our full retirement age. If you were born before then, it can vary from age 66 up to 66 and 10 months. So they did like a sliding scale. It used to be 65, then they switched it to 66, and then they kept sliding it up until 67. So if you want to claim early retirement benefits, which is at the top of the table, you can start benefit as early as age 62. And this is just for retirement benefits. If you're claiming disability, that's a whole different animal. Most of what I'm focusing on today is the claim for your retirement benefits. The latest that you want to delay taking your Social Security is age 7. Now, you could do it after age 70, or sorry, I said age 7, didn't I? Delayed retirement benefits is age 70. You will be able to actually get a greater benefit amount than what they calculate at your full retirement age. But there are no delay benefits beyond the age of 70. That's the most that you will be able to receive as an increase for delaying receiving your benefits. So hopefully this screen will make it a little bit more clear. So let's assume that my full retirement age is 66. My benefits have been calculated at age 66 of $1,000 a month. That's based on my 35 years of top earnings history, all adjusted for today's inflation, etc. If I wanted to claim my benefits at the age of 62, you could see that it would be reduced down to $750 a month. Now, that is a lifetime reduction. COLAs will still apply. If they implement a COLA adjustment of, 2%, then my $750 will go up by 2% when they do the COLA adjustment. But I am never going to work up to the full $1,000 that I would have gotten at my full retirement age. You will always be reduced by, it's typically 30%. However, if I wait to take my benefit till age 70, I can actually increase my benefit by up to 8% a year up until age 70. 70 is the maximum that you can get these rate increases. So this is why picking when you claim can really make a huge impact on this guaranteed income that you can get for life. You also need to think about who you're claiming for. So Social Security benefits pay benefits for many people that you care about, including yourself. So most of like what I said we're going over today is retired Social Security benefits. I'm not going to be talking about disability benefits because that is a whole different animal. It has its own different rules of how you apply for it, when you're eligible, and things like that. Um, but it does, the things that you should know is that it does leave a widowed benefit for your existing spouse. If you should pass and you have minor children, then it's going to leave benefits for your minor children. And it does also leave benefits to an ex-spouse with certain criteria. And I'll try to go over those in a little bit. Typically, the fewer people you claim for, the higher your potential benefit may be, but having others claim against your benefit does not diminish your own benefit. So if an ex is claiming off of your work history for their ex-spousal benefits, it's not going to diminish what you are getting. Everybody has their own pie that they're drawing from. They're not all drawing from a definitive pool of money that's allocated to your Social Security number. I would say then the biggest driver about the benefits is the anticipated longevity of you. Remember, this is a guaranteed benefit for your lifetime. So the longer you think you may live, the better off you may be waiting to delay taking your benefits because it will increase the dollar amount you are getting per month for the life for your lifetime. And as you can see that 1 in 4 65-year-olds who are currently 65 today will live past the age of 90, and 1 in 10 are going to live past the age of 95. So making the most of Social Security can be a huge way to help support yourself in retirement. And it's possible that Social Security could be one of your biggest retirement assets. All right, now let's talk about the statements and how you find what your benefit amount is. So Social Security is no longer mailing out any of those statements. If you remember getting any statements in the mail where it showed your current lifetime earnings and what your benefit amount was going to be, they have stopped doing that. It's a cost savings benefit to the department to not have to mail those statements. So the best thing you can do is visit ssa.gov and then set up an online account. You'll have to, of course, have your Social Security number. You'll create a username and a password, but it's very easy to do. And once you are there, you will be able to see a digital statement that you could print out if you so desired. And it's really good when you are getting close to actually retiring, say within 1 or 2 years, and you start working with a financial advisor to get the definitive benefit amount from the website. I know Voya, we have our tools that can estimate how much you would be getting, but it is just an estimate. So I definitely encourage everybody to get their actual number when they are getting closer to actually retiring so that you can help really plan for retirement and whether it's viable or not. All right. When you're looking at your statement, again, it's going to talk about your full retirement age or FRA. It's always based on the date you were born, the year. And it will show on your statement what your full retirement age is. It's also on your statement going to show you what your lifetime earnings are that have been adjusted for changes in average wages. It's going to show you that list. It's going to show you the top 35 years that they're using to calculate your investment. And they'll then plug all of that information into a formula to get the primary insurance amount, which is the benefit that you receive at your full retirement age. After that, it's then going to show you, okay, your retirement benefit at your full retirement age would be X dollars. If you wait until age 70, they're going to pay you X dollars. If you start at age 62, your payment would be, and it's going to give you that amount. And then it starts to give you the benefit amounts that everybody else in your family could potentially receive based on your work history. So it would show you what your disability benefits would be if you became disabled. It'll show you what your survivors could potentially receive if they are dependent children, if they are a spouse who is caring for a dependent child versus a spouse who could receive benefits starting at their full retirement age, and other things that are really important to consider. But really, the most important section is how much you're going to be getting at your different eligibility ages. And thankfully, in addition to the 3 line items, they will break it down for you in dollar amounts based on the different ages that you are applying. So it gives you all of the ranges that are available to you every year from 62, which is the soonest a person could collect Social Security benefits, all the way up to age 70, where delaying can increase your benefit amount by about 8% a year. So after you have all of this information at your fingertips, now it's the time to start figuring out when is going to be the right time for you to take your benefits. And you don't have to make this decision on your own. Voya is here to help you understand what you have and how Social Security could fit into your retirement strategy with all of your other assets. We'll also try to help you as we will assist you in selecting the optimum claiming strategy for your household. That's especially important when we're looking at a married couple, because yes, while you're married and both alive, you can both be collecting Social Security. But when one person dies, the surviving spouse only gets one Social Security benefit. They don't get the person who's died and their own work history benefit. They only get whichever one is the greater. So the household income is going to be reduced when one person dies. So you want to make sure that that is built in, that you look at longevity, consider, if somebody should die at maybe one person dies at the age of 80 and then the other one is the person that lives until 95. Is the surviving spouse going to have enough with the reduced Social Security benefits with all of the other assets? So those are scenarios that we can help run when we do a retirement snapshot for you. So when is the right time to start taking benefits? Well, hopefully you can tell so far that it really depends on your particular situation. It depends on what is your timeline for retirement? What is your marital status? What is the health of everybody in your home? What's your current working status? The life expectancy of you and your partner? Other income sources that you have to draw upon? How is Social Security, what are the taxes implications of claiming Social Security and how does it fit into your plan? So like I said, we're not going to come away with an answer today. You're just going to be given tools to help you start making informed decisions. So if you decide you want to start your retirement at the age of 62, you're in what is called early retirement, and you can collect your Social Security benefit as at this age of 62. Just remember, this is a permanent lifetime reduction, and that impacts you all the way through. So, say you are married, you both decide to take your benefit at 62, you're both getting reduced benefits. One of you passes on, then the surviving spouse is still getting a reduced survivor spouse benefit. So, just keep that in mind that that is a permanent reduction, and it is between 25 and 30% a month in reduction. Now, don't take that from me saying that, it's bad to do. If you're in a situation where maybe you are 62 and you can no longer work, then you know what? That's okay. You need to retire and you need to start claiming Social Security because you don't have enough of your own income to support you until you reach full retirement age. There are reasons to take it at 62. We just want to make sure that you're aware of the pros and the cons. The other option is to, of course, on the other end of the spectrum, is to delay taking the Social Security benefit until you reach age 70. Now, that does not mean you have to keep working until age 70. You can stop working whenever you want. Just because you're no longer employed does not mean that your benefits are going to automatically be triggered. You have to apply for benefits. They are not an automatic thing. So even if you stop working and you reach the age of 70, they're not going to just go, oh, yay, you're 70, here you go. You still have to apply for benefits. So you have full control as to when you would be receiving these benefits. And delaying until 70 to start the benefits, again, increases your monthly benefit by about 8% a year. So basically, I think for most people, it boils down to these three choices. Do you want to retire early, start taking your benefit early? Do you want to retire at your full retirement age and start your benefit then? Or do you want to increase your amount and delay starting it until age 70? Now, how long you think you may live needs to be a factor in your decision. And it is exciting that we are living longer. And that means with Social Security, you have longevity protection because the payments will last as long as you live. They do not cut you off. And this is important because we have a lot of years to plan for, and taking a reduced benefit early means that you should be confident of the ability of the other income that you have to cover the rest of your income needs for your lifetime. Social Security website does offer a lifetime expectancy calculator that you can use. And while it doesn't take into account your health, lifestyle, and family history, it can help you plan a little bit. Of course, these are hypothetical examples on the screen, and your numbers may differ, but these are a good place to start if you are unsure. So other areas on your statement, I have alluded to survivor benefits. The biggest one that most people need to look at is spousal survivor benefits. This is the benefit that a person would receive if they started taking your benefit as a survivor at their full retirement age. However, keep in mind, if your spouse starts taking their own work history benefit early, their benefit as a survivor is still going to be reduced. And your earnings record is what's used to calculate your retirement benefit. So it is good to review this record that we have on file and make sure that, all of that information is accurate. If it's not, you can try to dispute it with the Social Security Department, especially if you have W-2s that maybe it got reported incorrectly into the system. All right, so we got a question that came in and it says, if I was born in 1962, then my full retirement age is at the age of 67. That is correct. If you wait to apply until you're age 70, then the amount you get from your benefit will go up from the time you're 67 to age 70. And yes, that is correct. So if your full retirement benefit amount at age 67 was $1,000, but you have not claimed it and you wait to claim it at age 70, then it will go up by 8% a year until you file for claims at age 70. So yes, that is correct. All right, let's talk about a few case studies, and maybe this will help make it a little easier to understand because, like I said, I know this is super complicated. We've got a married couple, Wanda and Wayne. They are both currently 60 with full retirement age of 66. Their current life expectancies are 93 and 91. Cost of living adjustment is currently 2.25%. Now, Wanda's work history has given her a benefit amount at full retirement age of $2,800 a month, and Wayne is $1,500 a month. So when should they start claiming their Social Security benefits? Well, it depends. But let's review a number of scenarios so that we can make sure that we're helping Wanda and Wayne make the most of their Social Security benefits. So in this example, we're going to assume that they're both going to retire in 2020 at the age of 62 and start their benefits then. This is the early retirement age, of course, for each of them. Now, Wanda's annual benefit is going to be about $25,000, and Wayne's benefit is about $13,000 to $14,000 a year. So it's not too bad for the two of them. They're getting a fairly good amount combined, and they get their cost of living adjustments every year, which is why Wanda started at 25 and increased almost to 29,000. Now, in this example, you can see that they both remain healthy and they continued to work until they reached their full retirement age. Wanda at that time is going to get about $38,000 a year, and Wayne's is actually increased to $20,000 a year. So they're definitely closer to bringing in about 40,000, or sorry, about 60,000 grand total a year versus what they would have been getting when they started at their early retirement age. So it's definitely a larger increase of money that they are getting from their security benefits versus having to take out of their own retirement accounts. So remember, that's the other thing you have to think of is how much do I have in my retirement accounts? And if I start taking withdrawals from that at age 62 to cover the rest of my income needs, how long will that account last? And then this is what they look like they would get per month if they delayed taking their benefits until age 70. And this is really showing the potential in waiting. So if they both remain healthy and they continue to work until age 70, their benefits are going to be much higher. Wanda's going to be at $53,000 annually versus the $38,000 at 66. Wayne's up to 28,000. So they definitely get more per month or per year, grand total between the two of them versus starting at 62 and versus at 66. So what does this tell us? If they are both healthy, their difference in lifetime benefits increases the longer they wait to collect this money. Um, you know, assuming they're both healthy and assuming they're both going to live to, the ages that we had outlined in the original example. But life doesn't happen this way, so longevity, if you think you're one of those people who is going to live longer, your cumulative benefit by delaying is going to be greater than if you start taking your benefits early, is what this is trying to show you. So here we're going to look at them claiming at different ages. One is going to claim now and the other is going to wait. And does it matter? Well, in this example, it does. So the best option for married couples varies and may not include all of the options that we've talked about so far. It may be that it's best for one person to claim first and then the other one to wait, even if neither of them is working. So reading left to right, looking at this example, we're going to see that one of them is claiming at 62 and the other is waiting until their full retirement age to claim. So in the upper example, we've got Wanda claiming at 62, Wayne is waiting till his full retirement age, and when they are both claiming, they're going to get about $45,000 a month. But now granted, Wanda had the higher earnings history. So her full retirement benefit is much greater than Wayne's was. So if Wanda files at her full retirement age and Wayne starts early, then they're going to get a much greater combined benefit amount when they're both finally claiming Social Security benefit. And then below that, you can see in the bottom examples, we're looking at full retirement age versus age 70 for the two of them. The other thing to keep in mind is that there's a lot of people who want to work part-time when they are retired to generate a little bit of extra income. However, if you are under your full retirement age, use, you can only earn $22,000 a year in income from a job, or they will reduce your Social Security benefits. So it's not beneficial to you to start taking your Social Security at 62 if you're still working a regular full-time job, because you're just not going to get your benefits. So you might as well wait. Now, once you reach your full retirement age, then there's no limit. You can earn whatever you want to from a job. Everything and anything that you earn is fine above full retirement age. Now, keep in mind, this is money from a job or a 1099. So a W-2 or a 1099 does not, it does include also business income, but it does not include pension benefits or distributions from IRAs or 401ks. So when they're saying earned income, it needs to be from a job or a business that you're getting profits from. The other thing to keep in mind is that some of your Social Security benefits may be taxable. Keep in mind, this is showing that if your combined joint income is less than $32,000 a year, then none of your Social Security benefits will be taxed. That's for married couples. But how many of us are living off of $32,000 a year? It's just not. That's not what the average couple is living. So I would say that the majority of us can expect 50 to 85% of our Social Security benefits to be considered taxable income. How much you owe in taxes will depend on what your tax bracket is. So you're not paying a tax of 50%. It's just saying that if you, in the previous example, if Wanda earned $40,000 in Social Security benefits and they fell into the 50% of that is taxable, then $20,000 of her Social Security benefits would be part of their taxable income and then get taxed at whatever bracket they fall into, whether that's the 12%, 22%, 24%, et cetera. So it's possible when you sign up for Social Security benefits that you can have income taxes withheld from your benefits if you so desire. Some people do choose to do that because they know they're falling into the bracket where portions of their assets will be taxable. All right, so one question popped up and says, can we prevent an ex to get benefits? No, you can't. What they do, though, however, has nothing to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with what benefits you'll receive. It is totally separate from what you're getting. It's not going to detract from you. However, X benefits are only available if you were married for 10 years or longer. They can only claim X spousal benefits if they are currently unmarried. So in this example, we've got Sandra and Steve. They're 39. They were married for 10 years. Sandra could collect off of Steve's work history at her full retirement age of 67. However, if Sandra was to get remarried before she reached her full retirement age, before she reached that, then she would not be able to claim off of her ex-husband's benefit. Hopefully this is going to, I think, try to explain it a little bit. I'm not 100% happy with all of these different scenarios that they're putting on the screens. So scenario one, married for 10 years to their prior spouse, and then they remarry. This is saying that if the ex-spouse is still living, then you lose the ability to claim an ex-spousal benefits. So Sandra gets remarried. She cannot claim off of Steve's work history because even though they were married for 10 years, she got remarried before she reached the age of 60. When she remarries, she is eligible to receive benefits from her current spouse after they've been married for 1 year. And the benefit amount that she would get as an ex-spousal benefit is only equal to 50% of that person's benefit amount. Not that it would detract. Okay, so if Steve had a benefit amount of $2,000 a month, Steve goes to file, he's always going to get his $2,000 a month at his full retirement age. Sandra, if she is unmarried, could file and claim ex-spousal benefits and receive $1,000 a month. It is not detracting from Steve. It is not detracting from his current spouse. It is a spousal benefit that is available to his ex as well as his current spouse. The ex can only claim it if that person is not remarried. Nice and confusing, I know. And in that scenario, Sandra maybe has her own work history and her eligible benefit on her own work history is greater than that ex-spousal benefit, so she may not even claim it. So you can only get one benefit, not two. Then the last scenario is you're going to receive benefits when you're remarried to a younger spouse and have young children or dependents with special needs. So dependent benefits are available if So say Sandra remarries somebody who's younger and they have children, and then her younger spouse passes away. She can claim benefits for their young children until they become age 18 or finish high school. It's just an extra benefit that's there. That's not really retirement benefits. It's survivor dependent benefits. So that is a whole different scenario. Okay. Now we're going to jump back to Wanda and Wayne and look at if they had anticipated shorter life expectancies than what we originally had discussed. So in scenario one, they're married. It may or may not make sense to claim early or even at all because it really depends on how their life goes. If you feel that you may not live into your 70s or early 80s, then you may contemplate taking your benefits as soon as possible. And while the decision to do so is, of course, personal on a lot of levels, um, just keep that in mind that it is always an option if you feel that your health is not going to allow you to live into your late 70s and early 80s. Now, widower benefits do kick in for a surviving spouse, but so say in the Wanda Wayne scenario, Wanda's earning her full retirement benefit was 2,800 a month. Wayne's was the 1,500 a month. When Wanda dies, if Wanda dies before Wayne does, Wayne could step up to a survivor benefit of what Wanda's full retirement benefit was of 2,800 a month. However, if he took his benefit on his own work history early, then his 2,800 survivor benefit is going to be reduced by that 25 to 30%. So that is definitely something to keep in mind if one spouse is anticipated on passing sooner. The one that may be the surviving spouse, um, in this scenario, maybe Wanda was the one that was ill and we thought she was going to pass earlier than Wayne. She could start taking her benefit at 62. Wayne would be better off waiting to take his own work history benefit until he reached full retirement age so that when Wanda passed, his survivor benefits would not be reduced. So, who can claim? A widow or even a divorced widow can claim survivor benefits. Again, it's that situation of, say, we looked at Sandra and Steve earlier. Sandra, if Steve passed away, Sandra could claim ex survivor benefits off of Wayne's work history, assuming she had not remarried before she reached the age of 60. So she would need to be currently unmarried to claim ex survivor benefits. And anything that she claimed would not impact any benefits. Say Steve got remarried and his current wife was trying to claim survivor benefits. Anything Sandra claimed would not impact what his new wife could claim. They could both claim survivor benefits, assuming that they're not currently remarried. And you have to make a decision. So survivor benefits are a little bit different. Do you want to take your own or do you want to take your widow's benefit? This is the only option that allows you to actually delay taking your own benefit that you get to choose. So if you have not started your own benefit, you could delay your own benefit and take widow's benefits and let your own benefit grow, but it's only a scenario that you could do if you have not already started your own Social Security benefits. If you have started your own Social Security benefits, then you're going to get whichever one is the greater benefit amount, either your own work history or the survivor's benefits. And the Social Security Department typically will say, we're going to give you the greater one. Now, if you became a widow before the age of 60, if you did not remarry until after the age of 60, then you have lots more choices. So, if Wayne passed away early, Wanda was 52. Maybe she didn't get married until she was, 61. She could, if she wanted to, at age 62, start taking survivor benefits off of Wayne's work history. Or she would be able to take spousal benefits off of her current husband. So it gets a little murky there as well. But don't worry about all of that stuff until that becomes a situation that you find yourself in. And then we can figure out which ones are going to be the best options for you. All right, so homework for you is to visit the Social Security website, ssa.gov, set up your online account, figure out what your benefit is, and start incorporating that into your retirement plan. The website also has lots of calculators that you can utilize to help figure out, what is your retirement age calculator? What is your benefit estimate amount? They have survivor benefit calculators. They have longevity calculators. So there's a lot of good resources on their website to help you determine what your benefit amount may be. The other thing to look at is when you visit your retirement plan's website, the ABA Retirement, know that My Orange Money is incorporating an estimate of your Social Security benefits that we have built into the tool. It's not going to be accurate. I believe there is a way for you to actually fill in what the benefit amount would be. But it is assuming that your dollar bill is filled in with distributions that are sustainable from your retirement account and from Social Security benefits. And so if you change your retirement age on the calculator, it's going to recalculate how much you're going to get for Social Security benefits and recalculate your My Orange Money. All right, so want you to log into the Social Security website, figure out what your statement is, what your benefit is going to be. Understand that this is a valuable asset and how it fits into your overall retirement planning goals. And play what if. Try to evaluate a few different scenarios to determine what's going to be your best path. Remember, you don't have to do any of this alone. Financial professionals can work with you to help you make the most of Social Security and how it fits into your financial plan. So definitely encourage you to meet with a financial professional so that you don't have to figure out any of this alone. We can run some retirement snapshot scenarios and help determine the what ifs. So how can we help? We can always review your current situation. We can explore other options that you may have and help you create a financial strategy that fits your needs and adjust that plan to last throughout your life expectancy. This is done through what's called our retirement snapshot tool. It is a way for us to plug in different goals that you may have and help you figure out, are you on track for those retirement goals? How much income, where will all of the different accounts that you have generate every month in a sustainable dollar amount? How long can you expect those savings to last? This is a complimentary appointment that you can schedule with us. It is via a phone-based appointment. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. You can call the Voya Financial Advisors at the 844 number, or you can schedule a complimentary appointment by visiting the go.voya.com/ABA_RF2, or you can scan that QR code and it will take you straight to the registration page to sign up for one of these appointments. All right, there are a few more questions. So Gary wanted to know, what is the lifetime difference and what is the actual age you are using? I apologize, Gary. Let me see if I can go back to that slide to find it because I don't remember what age they put in for the scenarios. Ooh, this may take me a hot minute to get back there. You know what? I'm going to stop real briefly on slide 43, because there is a question in here that says slide 43 says you can make $59,520 a year before month of full retirement age. Your birthday's in September. I will have earned more than the 59,520 at that time. If I retire in December of my retirement year, will my Social Security be affected? Great question. So that, I think maybe I was on the wrong slide. Well, this slide. Okay. So that number, that $59,520 a year, means if you are if you are collecting Social Security, say in January of the year that you will be reaching your full retirement age, if you've already started collecting, then you can earn that 59,520. But if you're not collecting your Social Security benefits until after you reach your full retirement age, then you're fine. That only applies to those people who are collecting their Social Security benefit while still working before they've reached that full retirement age. So you'll be fine, Cindy. After you reach full retirement age and then start collecting Social Security, it's not going to impact it at all. Next question says, my husband is currently drawing his Social Security, and I do not plan to start taking mine until I'm 70. I am currently at my full retirement age. Now, if he were to die, could I claim Social Security on his benefits and not draw mine at this time? Yes, that is correct. You could, in fact, if he was to pass away, then you could claim survivor benefits and delay taking yours until age 70. If by that time your delayed benefit is greater than what your survivor's was, you could flip over. Definitely could do that. What does the total retirement amount mean at my age 67 versus age 70? I think what they were trying to show on those slides is examples of, and I apologize, I don't really like the way they laid these slides out. I'm not sure if I'm on the right slide. Let me see if I can find the slide that you were referring to. Okay, so what they were trying to show on the total retirement amount mean at your different ages is um, they are assuming, a certain dollar amount started being received by you at age 66 over your lifetime, and they're assuming the lifetime benefit amount was through age, I don't remember what they said our scenarios were for Wayne and Wanda. Life expectancy for them was 93 and 91. So they expected Wanda to live to 93 and Wayne to live to 91. So they're saying that if Wanda started getting her benefit at age 66 and she lived to 93, her grand total of cumulative benefits that she would have received was that $1 amount. Versus if she waited until age 70, start taking her benefit, and then passed away at age 93, this was her other grand total that she would have accumulated. So they're just trying to show you that basically, the longer you wait to start collecting your money, the more you'll end up getting, especially if you live a very long life. Last question I see is that to clarify, if you said I was born in 1960 or later, my full retirement age is 67. I don't understand if that amount is still going up until I'm 70, then isn't my full retirement age 70? I know it's a confusing concept. So they're saying that you would have no penalties for reductions if you start taking your benefit at your full retirement age. The penalties have gone away. You're now going to get 100% of the benefit that you're entitled to. However, we're going to reward you if you decide you want to wait and take your benefits later. Then we're going to kind of reward you a little bit, but we're only going to reward you up until age 70. And after that, it doesn't matter. So Full retirement age is the 100 is receiving 100% of the benefit amount to which you are entitled. And then you have the choices to either take it early or take it late. And so taking it late is giving you a benefit, giving you a present, basically. So full retirement age is 67 for you, meaning there's no penalty for taking your money early, and you're going to get that amount